Hello. So I got some real talk, of course. You know, it's me being authentic and raw as always. That's the thing, right? You got to be real and raw. So I want to talk about now is how mental illness can affects a whole family, whether that be behaviors or genetics. So like if you've looked at any of my other videos, I've said in my other videos that, and if you haven't, let me update you. In my family, is we have some mental illness. I have a twin, 47-year-old twin, we're twin, who has schizophrenia, um, manic mood disorder. Um, I have a mother who's bipolar, schizophrenic, um, and I'm sure I have some more family members in my people in my family with some undiagnosed um, mental illness. But yeah, and this is just on my mom's side. And of course, I have some stuff on my dad's side with some aunts and uncles who've had nervous breakdowns, anxiety, very bad, and stuff like that. But I just want to talk about how it affects everyone, whether it be behaviors, like I said, or through genetics. So, my mom, which we didn't even know, because growing up, of course, I didn't know what was going on with my mom. I mean, she was my mom, so it's so funny how we don't even know that what we live, what we grow up in or how we live in growing up as kids is not even normal. I thought my family was normal until I moved away after high school and was not around my family. And then I moved back. Well, even before I moved back, when I moved back, though, I realized this ain't normal. My family and the way we live and how things are is not normal. But when you in it, it seemed like the most normal thing. But my mama always kind of, I don't know, challenged. I say she didn't make good decisions sometimes. She um used to be on pills real bad. She was horrible with money. She made purchases that was not like adult. I mean, just she didn't make a lot of good decisions as adult. Like they weren't adult decisions. And my dad used to have a hard time with that. They used to get into it a lot about that actually, because she just didn't make very good decisions when it come down to paying bills and spending her money. So it's like sometimes it almost seemed like my mom was a child too. So my daddy had to carry a lot of responsibility, honestly. We never knew what was going on with my mom. We just knew she just had a hard time being a mom. Don't get me wrong, I can remember her being there for me more now that I'm older. Because at first I didn't have a relationship with my mom because I just felt like she wasn't a mom to me. I was a daddy's girl, but she was just different, and I didn't realize it until I went away. And um, I noticed it more when I moved back that something was going on. We just didn't know what it was. And I think because after I moved away, I became a nurse. And of course, when you become a nurse, you learn more stuff, right? So I learned more about mental illness and some of the diagnoses. And I think I realized sometime that my mom was bipolar. I can remember telling my dad because she used to do all the kind of stuff, especially with taking the pills, and she would be she would be up and go out and spend money and be up and hyper for days and weeks and want to have all this energy doing all this stuff, and then she would literally go in her room and shut up for 2 or 3 days. Like not even 2 or 3 days. She would do it for weeks. But she would just shut up in the room in the bed all day. She would just do that. She wouldn't cook. She wouldn't come out and say nothing. She would just sleep. And then too, she was they were putting on these different medicines, but she would actually go into one primary care. We do need you need to go psych. People don't just go to a primary care for your psych needs. Go see a specialist, please. So anyway, she was just going to this primary care doctor, and yeah, they were just giving her medicine on top of medicine on top of medicine on top of the medicine. And people, I don't know, especially if you in the medical field, when you taking medicine, you might take this medicine to fix one thing. It might maybe fix it, but then that medicine side effects causing another problem, and then you taking medicine to fix that, and then that causes helps a little bit. And then it's causing side effects, and you got to take medicine to fix that. And this is from a nurse. It's just a non-ending cycle. That's why I believe in natural alternatives. So, anyways, she would go to the doctor, her primary care. She had so many pills, and then she of course she was she had got addicted to so much medicine. She was taking so much stuff. My mom has been, I swear, she was in her 30s and 40s, and probably had done fail 100 times because she be sedated or just I don't know. But anyways, and she was in the hospital all the time. But she was just sick, and we didn't understand what it was. I didn't realize one time until mom and I had then moved away, and I think I had came back to visit. She was on a ventilator. She was in ICU because she had took too much medicine. And my mom's sister came, and I don't, they're not close, and I never really got to talk to her much. But I remember her coming to visit my mom, and my mom was she told me then that my mom, as a child, they told her mother that my mom was going to be mentally challenged. Never knew that. She was going to always have a hard time, making adult decisions. Never knew that. The first time I ever heard anything, and I was in my 30s. No, I'm lying. Yeah, I was in my 30s because I think I had to move back here. That my mom was going to be a little challenged. Probably early 30s. Didn't know that. That she was like always. I didn't know. I just thought that was my mom. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know what your parents be doing until you become older and you're like, oh, this ain't no. Well, anyways, so not only was she mentally challenged already as a kid, but she also had mental issues too. And I realized because I remember, like I said, not only she would get hyper, spend all this money, just make these crazy decisions. I can't even. And then she would go shut up in her room for 2 or 3 days or weeks, and wouldn't come out, wouldn't cook, wouldn't clean. We wouldn't see her, like, right. But then too, I remember this one time she would be in her room with the TV on, and the TV up to 60. She would have earphones on in her head, and they would be turned up, and she'll be playing the radio at the same time, and she'll be in that room just like that, rocking in a rocking chair. Like she was all, and that's when I realized, I'm like, I think my mom was bipolar, cause she's so up and down. I remember telling my dad, cause he was up to his wits' end. I used to try to get my dad to get my mom, especially because she was in the hospital so many times for overdosing, to get her help, but he never did. He was scared. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be upset with him. He didn't want to handle it. Well, I took care of Dad. I wish you could see her now. But, yeah, she used to be taking a lot of pills, and, yeah, nothing was helping. And then I think the final thing with my mom is how we finally got her with the right diagnosis and the right help is she jumped on me about, she had took off some pills, she had an overdose on them, and they took them away from her because the dosage was ridiculous. I can't believe she was even taking that dosage. Some of these doctors need to go to jail. But anyways, and the doctor took them from her, and she still had the pills, and I found out she was taking them because she was falling on the ground, kept going to the hospital. We was living with her then. My husband came, he was home then, we living with her. And she got mad because I took them pills and threw them pills. I said, you ain't supposed to be taking these no more. The doctor told you not to take them. You ain't supposed to have them. And I got them pills and I threw them away. And she came and she jumped on me. Grown woman. She came and jumped on me. I ain't never seen my mama like that. Ever hit me in my face, called me all kind of names, beat me up. Hurt me. I ain't gonna lie, that hurt my feelings. And I had never seen my mama angry before. Not like that. Never. And she did that. Went in her room, closed her door. And next thing we know, she was on the ground because she had an overdose on some pills. Tried to kill herself. Called 911. I remember the paramedic saying, and I explained to him everything that happened. He was like, "We gonna help you get some. We gonna help you get some help. We gonna make sure you get some help." Because there's just the whole thing. The story. He's like, "What?" And yeah, she went in there. She was on ICU because she was in that, and she got Baker at it. She went to a mental place, and we got help. That was the first time she ever went to a mental place. All those times she did all them overdosing, she would come up with something, or the doctor just, I don't know what it was, but that was the first time she had went to a mental health facility, seen a psychiatrist, first time. And she was what, in her 50s, 60s maybe, 60s. Yep. And they put her on the right kind of medicine. We finally got a diagnosis. She was bipolar. And then she also, I think since then, she done got diagnosed with schizophrenia because I seen it on the paperwork. Because she does go to see someone now. Yeah. And of course, she did take, and it still took years and years after that before her to stop doing with the pills and all that kind of stuff. But it did make a big difference that we finally got her diagnosed. Because I didn't know what it was. And what's crazy was, and in the midst of all this, and this is crazy because my sister ended up with her thing, and hers started off with my sister. Her schizophrenia is from her stillbirth. She had a stillbirth. She has postpartum depression. We say it's turned into postpartum psychosis. And this is me assuming it because all I know is she was normal with mental. She had some mental challenges though. I mean, not mental. She was challenged like my mom as a kid. She was a little challenged, but she didn't have mental psych. So she went with that. She went for depression, psychosis. And they say that sometimes stress can cause you, if it's in your family blood, if it's in your genes, stress can exasperate, like bring it out. And I think that's what happened. Like, which brings me to thinking, like, and I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, is this gonna be me? I worry all the time. I ask my husband all the time. I'm like, am I the bipolar? Because I do have issues. I do have times where I'm high and low. And the thing about me is, unlike my mom and my sister, because neither one of them think nothing wrong with them. Unlike my mom and my sister, I can tell. Like I'm very well aware. So sometimes I'm over too aware. Like I remember the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I was like so happy about some stuff going on. I was texting my husband. I was talking. I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm excited. I can't wait till we do this. This is what I want. I want us to be able to have the biggest house. I was excited. And I remember talking, and I felt myself like I was just rambling. And I remember I got on the phone with him, and I texted him. I'm like, do you think I'm having a manic episode? Because he's like, why? I'm like, because I don't know. I just felt extra excited, and I felt like I got the phone. I could tell I was rambling. He was like, no, Tanya, I don't think. I just think you're excited about what you're talking about. But I go through the low things too. It doesn't be where most times it lasts a week or two or whatever. I have had that, and it'll last like a week or two. But it doesn't happen often. That stuff like that happen maybe once every year or two, I guess. And I get a little down and it lasts. But most time I get low, it lasts a day, maybe two. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm aware, and I'm always aware. Like I'm feeling low. I be like, I'm feeling low today. I'm feeling low. But I always worry, is it bipolar? I'm so scared of getting it. I'm so scared of being, and I don't know if that's even better because I'm aware of it. Like, is it better to be aware that you might be mentally ill or not? So does that make me not because I'm aware that I might be? I don't know. I do know I have anxiety. I have anxiety pretty bad. And I ain't gonna say all. I do have it pretty. I have anxiety, and it's really bad. When I just feel like not having control, I think especially at work. And I think my thing why I have anxiety bad when I'm working, because I'm a nurse, is because it's such a big responsibility, and it's so much of it at your control. I have a problem with not having control. I notice when I'm at work, when I'm taking care of my patients, I used to be so bad that I would sit down the hallway when I could be sitting at the nurse's station where everybody else at the sitting nurse station. The nurses up there, the techs up there, I'm sitting down the hallway by my patients because I want to be down there by the hallway to make sure they okay. I'm going to get up every 30 minutes, an hour, and I'm going to walk by my rooms and walk and look in my room because I want to make sure everything okay. I'm scared that something going to happen. I will go in that room and I will do everything for my patient. The light go off, the aide ain't even got to go down the hall because I'm right there. I'm answering the lights. If I'm in the room, I'm changing them. I'm making sure. I know I have anxiety when I can't sit. I don't even like to sit to the nurse station either because I don't want to hear all the beeps and the bells. It makes me so nervous, and I don't even like hearing all the staff coworkers talking and laughing amongst each other. That gives me anxiety. I can't stand sitting around a bunch of people together like that. So I know I definitely have anxiety. Now, it ain't just me. I actually have anxiety. And it's not, I can go in a party and be fine. I can go in a group. And I can even go in a store and be fine. But it's something about me being at that job. I can't stand being around a bunch of, sitting at that nurse station with all the people. I can't do it. And then when I'm with I'm always at work. I'm always feeling like I'm waiting on the shoe to drop. Like I gotta be there on top of everything because if I don't, something gonna happen. Which gives me anxiety. Is why I'm having a hard time being a nurse now. I'm having a hard time being a nurse because getting the older I get, I feel like it's getting worse. And then some of this could be because I'm in my late 40s, perimenopause, premenopause, menopause, So some of that definitely could be that. But then, like I say, it could be genetics. Mental illnesses in my family. Like I said, I have people that had nervous breakdowns for too much stress. I mean, in the hospital, in the mental place for that. So I don't know if it's just that's what it is. Do you know that it's so bad to live in fear of knowing, feeling like you're gonna lose your mind at any moment. And I don't want to be a burden to my husband. I really don't. I I know I say this in every video. I got a good husband, and I don't even want to be a burden to my girl. I don't want to be a burden on nobody. But I be thinking if something ever happened to me, who's gonna take care of my family? Because I don't want to leave that burden on my husband. I gotta keep myself together to take care of my family. And then I tried myself to take medicine because I feel like okay, I gotta work. So let me go get on this medicine so I can work. I can't just not work like most people. Like you gotta pay your bills. My husband can't do everything. That's not fair. And I tried that with the pills, and they made it worse. So now I'm having anxiety about trying anything else. And I do know medicine works because it definitely helped my mom and my sister. Like my sister, she's doing a whole lot better. I mean, she's done been through a lot, and she done been on all kind of medicines. When I tell you, she has the kind of schizophrenia where she talks to people. It's auditory and delusion. Like she's so bad that one day she poured cooking grease on top of her head and set her hair on fire. Like she is bad. So of course I'm worried. That's my twin. Like am I gonna just if I and then what's crazy is a person who worries about being having mental issues, knowing that stress can bring on a break. My life was full of stress just because of my family. That's which brings me to this. Dealing with people with mental illness is hard. The behaviors, it's hard, especially as a family member. I these many times I told my husband I feel like they gonna have me crazy. I tell my husband I think they gonna have me crazy. I'm gonna have to go in the mental place. Who gonna be? All us can't be crazy. And I be like, anywhere in the world that everybody else in my family can be touched and I ain't. And when I say everybody, like even my oldest sister, she ain't never been diagnosed, but some of the decisions she made and she 50. You gotta be something gotta be mentally wrong with her. Besides being a pathological liar, it gotta be something else wrong with her. Because the decisions she made don't they ain't something right. So she ain't never been diagnosed. And I think her daddy was a little whatever. And then my niece, which is my niece, one of the twins, she's a twin of a girl and boy. I think they too. Do I definitely know the girl was diagnosed as autistic as a child. Neither one of them know how to drive. They 20 something years old. They don't know how to drive. Like you just know like something ain't right. And they're both addicted to stuff. One is addicted to crack, Molly, whatever, and the other one's addicted to alcohol. And I don't know what else she does. And neither one of them have their own place. They don't work. They basically don't have nowhere. They live off their mama. They was living off my sister before she got into rehab. Like none of them. So it got to be. It's a lot of mental illness there. So I be like, oh, that's why I say all the time. Everybody can't be. Hey, except me. I can't be on Whammo. So it scares me. Like, am I crazy? And what's crazy for me to be like, and that's why I have so much anxiety. Sometimes I feel like I'm just waiting, biding my time, and I do check in with my husband and my girl. I'm like, am I? Am I? I can say more about my husband because we've been together forever, and me and my girl just recently. But like, yeah, but I haven't. I mean, as we talked about before, I've I done stressed enough that I wanted to take my life, and that's just as my mom did that too. I don't know why she did it, but She could be the same way as I am, sensitive, and I really do believe that too. I don't know. It's funny how, like I say, mental illness can affect you. Whether like I say, the behaviors of what your people in your family doing, it affects you, or genetics. Which brings me to like sometimes you have to be careful about who you marry and who you have children with. Because my oldest, my twin who was pregnant with the stillbirth, the guy she got pregnant with too, he had mental issues. And I knew he was a little different. Cause I met him. And I knew he was a little slow. And I definitely knew it when she went to a mental place and I went to go visit her years later. After she had the baby, this years later. He was in there. He was in the mental place. And I remember sitting down and I was looking at him and I'm like, dang, that looked like Sonya's baby's father. And I remember saying something. He was running up and down the hallway. He was all black and blue, had scratches all over him, talking to himself, running up and down the hallway. And I remember saying to my sister Sonya, is that blah, 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 blah? And she just looked at him. She like, hmm. I mean, she just had this blank stare like she didn't even know who he was. And I was just thinking, and they were having a baby together. That's why, and I ain't going to say God, but Faith wasn't supposed to be here. That baby was going to come with so many challenges. And it's funny because we was already told she was going to have Williams syndrome. She also had something else going on with her heart. And then she had a mom and a father mentally challenged with mental illness. Yeah. That baby say, nah, I ain't ready to this I ain't ready to be born. Come back. I ain't ready to come back right now. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Cause it was gonna be in them genetics. Strong. Strong. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you.